Welcome back to my channel. So, medyo matagal tayong hindi nakaka-create ng mga tutorial videos kasi medyo busy tayo sa last week. So, ngayon, nakakita ka ng job post na gustuhan mo kasi yun yung ideal job mo. In-applyan mo at sa wakas, nag-reply yung client na yun para sa isang interview. So, sa video na to, i-discuss natin kung paano nyo pwedeng sagutin ang tanong sa interview question na tell me about yourself. So, kung gusto nyo malaman ang possible or technique na ginagawa ko para masagot ang tanong na yan at kung paano ako na-hire, please keep on watching until the end ng video na to. Do not skip para wala kang ma-miss na tips and tricks na i-share ko throughout the video. Without further ado,
Let's get started!
yun! Let's get started! Sa channel na to, didiscuss natin more on online work, tips and tricks, and success stories. So kung gusto nyo ang mga topic na yon, please consider subscribing and don't forget to hit the notification bell para wala kayong ma-miss na tips and tricks na i-share ko sa mga future videos ko. So sabi nga ni Ichigo, my favorite video needs more subscribers.
My favorite video needs more subscribers.
Kung bago pa lang sa channel na to, I'm Kaji, Virtual Assistant, Executive Assistant, Bookkeeper, Accountant, so kahit anong work, pinapasok ko, basta't online, kasi online work is amazing! Guys, gagawa tayo ng mga series video tungkol sa mga common questions na tinatanong during the interview and kung paano nyo sila pwedeng sagutin para ma-hire kayo. Sa video na to, discuss natin yung tell me about yourself na question. Okay guys, pag tinanong kayo, tell me about yourself, ganito ba kayo sumagot? Good afternoon, I'm Jeanette Hisule. I'm from the Philippines. I am a graduate of BS Accountancy. I am a mother of a 6-year-old son. I am 29 years old. Or, ganito naman. Tell me about myself. I'm Jeanette. I work as a accounting staff. And, guys, pag sinabing tell me about yourself, hindi siya yung typical na magkukwento ka ng buong buhay mo. They are not asking about your whole life story. What they are asking, it's another way to say, what value can you add to the table? What problem can you solve? What is the result that you'll be able to deliver? So, ganun siya, guys. Hindi siya yung typical na ikukwento mo na
I'm 29 years old. I'm Jeanette.
and don't mention your name kasi kilala ka na niya, alam niya na ikaw si Kaji na ini-interview niya. Paano niya malalaman na ikaw? Siyempre, dun sa email or kung Zoom man yan or Skype, nakalagay na dun yung pangalan mo and of course, siguro kung may attachment na resume yung application mo, nabasa na niya yung application mo. So, for sure, kilala ka na niya. So, bakit mo pa sasabihin na ikaw si Jeanette and what is it for him or her kung ikaw si Jeanette? It doesn't matter. What they want to hear is the value that you can add and the problem that you can solve. So, paano ba dapat natin sagutin yan tanong na yan? So, kung ikaw ay may experience na, then you can start answering, tell me about yourself using this line. So, ito rin yung ginagamit ko way back before, nung nag-start pa ako, na wala pa akong experience when it comes to online world. So, yung ginamit ko dito is yung experience ko sa corporate world, okay? So, you can answer this question by telling a story not about yourself but your work history. So, you can start by saying, I started off my career as. So, ano ka? Ano ka before ka mag-try mag-online work? Or ano yung kauna-unahang job mo So, katulad ko before, ako ay isang accounting staff. So, I started off my career as an accounting staff with yung company name mo, doing, anong ginagawa mo dun sa role na yon? Ikaw ba ay nagpe-prepare ng financial statement or nag-handle ka lang ba ng AR or AP? So, ganun siya. So, syempre, para maging story siya, sasabihin mo naman, pag nasabi mo na yung role mo, yung job description mo, at saka yung numbers of years sa company na yon, ituloy mo lang yung story. So, after ng company na yon, halimbawa at nag-move ka sa new company, ikwento mo din yun. So, sabihin mo din ano yung job title mo, doon sa company na yon, ilang taon ka, and ano yung mga major responsibilities mo. So, yun yung kung halimbawa, wala ka pang, yun yung intro, kung wala ka pang experience sa online world. Ngayon, so halimbawa, meron ka ng konting experience or may experience ka na sa ganitong industry, so paano mo siya sasagutin? So, pwede kang magsimula sa paggagamit ng statement na I have been. So, for example, sa experience ko, sinasabi ko na I have been doing bookkeeping for the last, kung ilang taon ka dun sa industry na yun or kung gaano mo na siya katagal. Kung halimbawa social media ang ginagawa mo, I have been doing social media management for the last ilang years, or I have been doing data entry for the last ilang taon, and I specialize in helping e-commerce businesses. So sa akin yun and I specialize in helping e-commerce businesses in growing their business by taking care of their accounting database and finances, from uploading bank statement to preparing their financial report. So, ganun siya. So, ganun mo siya sasagutin. So, depende yan kung ano yung job title mo. Itong sinabi ko ay based sa experience ko as a bookkeeper. So, kung halimbawa data entry ka, make sure na i-edit mo tong script na sinabi ko sa'yo, para mag-make sense siya dun sa ina-applyan mo, okay? And then after nun, pwede nyong dugsungan ng, as I understand, what you are looking for is someone who can help you kung ano yung hinahanap niya. Halimbawa, who can help you manage your finances or create your accounting report. So, gano'n siya. Someone who can help you sa admin task na malilasin yung working hours niya para makapag-focus siya sa pag-grow ng business niya. So, pwede nyo rin idagdag yun. And then, para sa closing mo, you can say na, due to my strong background and skills, I am confident I'll be able to succeed in this role you're hiring for. So, guys, sa pagsagot ng tell me about yourself, dapat masagot mo dyan ang mga tanong na, what result can you deliver? What problem can you solve? And what is the value you can add to the table? So, yun yung tatlo na dapat masasagot nyo when you answer the question, tell me about yourself. You don't have to tell your whole story. You don't have to focus on yourself. Huwag nyo sasagutin yung tanong na yun na sasabihin nyo na I love numbers and I love doing bookkeeping or accounting. Then, and since nagka-pandemic, so nagtatry ako maghanap ng work na online, pero na online at nasa bahay lang ako, pero kumikita ako. Kasi, pag sinabi mo yan, you're telling about yourself, more about yourself. You're not telling, or not saying, or you're not telling a story. How can you help the company? What is it for them? Para i-hire ka nila. Kung ang kwento mo ang buhay mo, what they are looking for is someone who can help them in their business. Guys, so syempre, dito sa interview na to, pure English yan. So, make sure na i-memorize mo yung sagot mo dun sa tanong na, tell me about yourself. Kasi, common na talagang tinatanong yan. And let's say, sa 100 na tao, 98% ang magtatanong ng tell me about yourself na tanong. So, make sure na i-memorize mo yan. Kung hindi mo kayang i-memorize yung sagot na yon, pwede ko i-suggest sa'yo is kumuha ka ng bond paper or i-type mo sa computer mo and then i-open mo during the interview. So, once na itanong ka na niya, parang babasahin mo na lang siya ng parang nagkukwento ka sa kanya. Pero make sure na hindi halata na nagbabasa ka na parang gumagal yung mata mo na I started off my career as an accounting staff by providing, no, hindi ganun. Basta make sure na parang confident ka sa sagot mo and hindi halata na may binabasa ka. Okay, so dati kasi ang ginagawa ko, meron akong papel. Kasi syempre, pag interview, lalo na pag first time mo, kakaba yung dibdib mo. And ang ginawa ko sumulat ako sa papel ng sagot doon sa mga tanong na possible na itatanong sa akin at pinost ko siya, dinikit ko siya sa wall. And then during the interview, nakaharap ako sa computer ko. At nung tinanong ako na, okay, Gina, tell me about yourself. So, ayan, nakaganyan lang ako. Ayan, basa-basa. So, ganun lang. Parang diskarte lang talaga yan. Kung hindi mo kayang sauluhin or sa tingin mo ay mauutal-utal ka. So, basahin mo na lang na hindi halatang binabasa mo. At saka kapag sumasagot ng tanong na tell me about yourself, be yourself. Hindi lang basta be yourself, be the best version of yourself. Kasi dito sa trabaho na to, dito sa company na ina-applyan mo or dito sa client na gusto mong makuha, isang beses ka lang niya i-interviewin and kapag na-fail mo yung interview na yun, wala nang second chance. So make sure na be the best version of yourself. Yeah? I hope this video will guide you sa inyong online journey. And kung meron kayong questions about sa tell me about yourself, please comment down below and I'll try to answer them as soon as I can. And yeah, I think meron na lang tayong 83 ba? Parang ganon. 83 na subscriber na hinihintay para makapag one-on-one coaching na ako sa isang lucky winner. So yes, see you on my next video. Bye!